How's it going, everybody? I'm sure all Packers fans are having a great day today. Um, as you can tell by the title, Joe Barry was fired by the Packers. Um, it was a move that needed to happen. As good as the defense played down the stretch and in the playoffs, it was something that needed to happen. And I'm glad Matt LaFleur pulled the trigger there. So I'm just going to talk about some candidates to replace him. I got five top candidates and then five honorable mentions. So let's get right into that. All right, so for my top option, I have Jim Leonard. And I just wanted to mention that the order is a combination of the likelihood of them being hired as well as my opinion um, as to who I want to be hired. So for Jim Leonard here, obviously, um, Wisconsin native, played for the Badgers, coached for the Badgers, was a top candidate, and I believe Matt LaFleur's top option for the job back in 2021. He didn't get the job, I believe, because he declined. I believe he wanted to stay at Wisconsin in hopes of becoming their head coach, which did not happen. Um, but yeah, I think Matt LaFleur actually offered him the job, um, but he declined. Um, and you know, I was kind of hesitant thinking about this as um, obviously back in 2021, I wanted him as a defensive coordinator for the Packers. Um, but then when I was thinking this time around, I'm like, well, I don't know. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So I think he would be a perfect fit for the Packers. And, he's a great defensive mind. He helped the Badgers sustain a very good defense, and I think he could bring out the best in the talent that we have on defense in Green Bay. Next up, I've got Ejiro Evero. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but he's a very good defensive coordinator for the Panthers. Was very good for the Broncos. He helped turn around both of those defenses, especially Carolina's. Even though they were 2-15 this year, I mean, he had that defense playing relatively well most of the year. And Matt LaFleur loves him. Um, they spent time together in Los Angeles with the Rams. Um, he's been interviewing for head coaching jobs. So the only concern with the Packers bringing in Evero is that he could end up leaving for a head coach job next year, which then brings you right back to the same position you're in right now. So, as good as he is, I think a Jim Leonard would be a better option because of that. Um, honestly, I think Evero is probably the better fit and better decision. He's probably the better guy to hire in this situation, but I think that you want a guy who's going to be around for more than 1 year, and I think that's what Evero would be. Um, Carolina's blocking interviews for defensive coordinator jobs for him, so I think even if he does end up staying, like if he doesn't get hired as a head coach, I think he could end up staying as a defensive coordinator there as long as the new head coach wants him. Um, but if Jim Leonard isn't the guy, then I think Evero should be, even if it is only for 1 year. Maybe he can help develop a younger guy to take over when he leaves for a head coaching job. All right, for my third option here, I've got Don Wink Martindale. He's widely respected throughout the league. Um, he's a very good defensive coordinator for the Ravens for a long time. Went to the Giants. Was good there, but I believe him and Brian Dable had some disagreements, and they ended up parting ways. Um, Matt LaFleur um, said prior to the matchup in Week 14 against the Giants, said that he's one of the best in the business, which is true. He has lots of experience. He has a great defensive mind, and overall, he's just a great defensive coordinator. I think it would be a good idea to bring in a veteran um, defensive coordinator. even though the first two guys I mentioned aren't really veteran guys, the other two guys were both in their 40s. I believe Wink Martindale's in his 60s or 70s, probably 60s. But he has a lot of experience. So I think bringing in him when Joe Barry didn't really work out and Mike Pettin didn't really work out. So I think Matt LaFleur is kind of pressured to get this one right. And he kind of needs to get this one right because it seems like the offense should be very good next year. And if we can get the right defensive coordinator in there, the defense should be very good as well. And yeah, Wink Martindale, I think would be a good fit. Um, but I just think that the other two guys just make more sense. All right, so for my number 4 option here, I've got Al Harris. He played in Green Bay for 7 years. He's respected by a lot of players, and Packers fans love him. I think Packers fans really want Al Harris as their defensive coordinator. I heard his name come up throughout the year, and I mean, the year that Deron Bland had this season, it was a historic year with all the pick sixes he had, and his position coach is Al Harris. He's a great defensive mind. He's a very good players coach, and what I mean by that is that he knows how to coach players. He knows how to motivate them. Players love him, and I think he would be a great fit in Green Bay, not only because he played there, but I think he could bring that fire and intensity to a defense that's just been kind of soft. So I think he would be a good fit. I don't know how realistic this is. I mean, he has no connection to Matt LaFleur. He's in Dallas because of McCarthy, but it makes sense. I don't know how likely it is, but it makes sense. For my 5th option, I have Chris Harris. He was a finalist for the job before Joe Barry was hired back in 2021. Apparently, he crushed the interviews during that off season, and I think he would make a lot of sense for the job now. He's a popular defensive coordinator candidate around the league, including with the Chicago Bears. He's another great defensive mind. He obviously coached under Mike Vrabel, so he got to learn from him. Matt LaFleur came from Tennessee, so they have that uh, Titans connection. I don't know that they were there at the same time, but they have that Vrabel connection, and I think it would make sense. I think he's another guy who coaches like, players like, and I think he can bring some intensity to the Packers defense. All right, now for my honorable mentions. First, I have Jerry Gray. He's with the Falcons right now. He could end up following Ryan Nielsen to Jacksonville. He was their defensive coordinator. Now he's going to be the Jaguars' defensive coordinator, so he could follow him there. Otherwise, it would make sense for him to come to Green Bay. He was an assistant in Green Bay for a couple seasons under Matt LaFleur, so I think that would make some sense. Then you got Mike Vrabel, obviously, very good defensive coach. Matt LaFleur worked under him as the offensive coordinator in Tennessee, so they have that relationship already. That one's unlikely in my opinion because I think he'll end up getting another head coaching job this offseason. So then you got Ron Rivera. Um, I don't know if I would like this personally, but he interviewed with the Eagles for their defensive coordinator job. Ron Rivera could make some sense in that case as a veteran defensive coordinator. But again, I don't know how likely that one is. Next, I've got Anthony Weaver. He's with the Ravens currently. He has that defense playing really well, specifically the defensive line. With Justin Madubuike helping him break out this season, he would be a good option as a defensive coordinator. And then Aubrey Pleasant. I believe he served as an advisor to Matt LaFleur last season, or a consultant, one of the two. Obviously, they have that Rams connection. I think if all the other options didn't work out, he would be a good option as well. So there's plenty of good options for Matt LaFleur, and hopefully he makes the right choice. All right, well, that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, drop a like down below. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know who you think the Packers will hire. And if there's a decision within the next couple days, I'll make another video. And yeah, subscribe for some more off-season content coming soon. I'll be making some mock drafts soon. And yeah, until next time, go Pack, go.